Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to continue with some slow cooking, and we are going to be doing a Mississippi pot roast today. Now I want to explain how this links with our theme of food security and emergency preparedness and self-reliance. Those are the three themes upon which our channel is focused. And so pretty much everything that we do leads to at least one or more of those three themes, and this one really fits all three. So we have been talking a lot about being prepared for coming days, whatever they may bring. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now, and so many of us are continuing to work slowly but surely, one step at a time, on being the most prepared that we can possibly be. There's a lot of peace that comes with being prepared when we can do it, and that includes in all aspects besides just food as well. The recipes today, the way that they fit into our food storage, we have talked a lot about level 1 food storage, where we integrate ingredients that are held in our refrigerator, our freezer, and our pantry. And then in level 2 stores for a longer period of time, and level 3 is many years, and they feed into each other. Part of what we are doing for level 1 is getting ready to have on hand either the meals ready to go or ingredients to make meals for 60 days. 60 days, so that we have ingredients or meals in our freezer or whatever. Because we include the freezer and refrigerator in level 1, it is important that we have a way to supply energy to them to keep them going in the event of an extended power outage. And we have explained that in a recent video we did on showing you how we use our solar battery stations, our Blue Eddies. And I'm going to link that video to the end of this video so you can click on it, where I talk about how we have secured ourselves for using solar energy to keep our things going, our refrigerator and our freezer going in the event of a power outage. So with today's recipe, you know, when I think pot roast, I think a very tender cut of meat that has been cooked along with potatoes and carrots and onions with a lovely gravy that goes over everything. This recipe for Mississippi pot roast is quite different, and I'm anxious to try it. And it holds some ingredients that are so easy for us to store. First of all, it calls for a 3-pound pot roast. And so as we are out and about in the stores, whenever we see pot roasts on sale, we can pick up 2 or 3 extra 3-pound pot roasts and bring them home and freeze them. And so that's part of level 1, is having things in our freezer. If we have pot roast in our freezer and a way to run a slow cooker, again, our Blue Eddies, if the power is down, we are set to make this recipe if we have stored just a few other things. Lipton soup mix, a great ingredient for adding flavor, which we have just recently started to add to our food storage efforts, along with the Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning packet. So that's going to take a lot of the extra fuss out of what we're going to do today, because we're just going to open envelopes and dump. It also takes some butter, and if you, like we, do ghee, then we'll have all the butter that we need. I just opened a jar of ghee that is 4 years old and has been stored in our bug out buckets, and we used it. I spread some on toast and tasted it. Perfectly good. It is shelf stable. Then the other thing we're going to need is pepperoncini peppers. So these are little salad peppers, and this calls for 8 whole peppers. Now the whole peppers, 8 whole peppers, is about what you find in a 16-ounce jar. So you can buy jars of pepperoncini peppers, 16-ounce jars, and put those on your food storage shelf. Jim is a gem. Jim found this gallon for quite an amazing price. And because these are packed in acid, I can repackage these in pint jars and they will keep for a year in my refrigerator. So we're going to do it that way. So we will have several jars, several pints of these peppers, but probably storing, if you can get a good price on the 16-ounce pepperoncinis, then that would be the way to go. Salt and pepper, and that is it. So a wonderful meal. And then this is served with mashed potatoes. And I'm going to be doing a video soon on different ways that we can have mashed potatoes at our fingertips when we are ready. So what we need to do for this is I'm going to go ahead and turn the flame on and get our olive oil going. And this is my carbon steel frying pan that I've fallen in love with. Then I'm just going to take some salt and pepper, and we are going to just cover this with salt and pepper. Using my other hand, because that one had meat on it. And then pepper as well. And now I'm going to use my spoon. I don't get as good of coverage with the spoon, which is why I like to use my fingers. Okay, so this is now completely salted and peppered. And in just a second, when our oil smokes, what I'm going to do is sear and brown this on all around, all the way around. And that is going to take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And we'll get started on that. And we will come back when the browning and searing is all done, and I'll show you the results. This is all browned all around. You can see the salt and pepper is sort of seared into the crust, into the top of the roast. I'm now going to move it over. I've got my slow cooker on already on high, and I'm going to just, it says to add the drippings. There really aren't a lot of drippings here. Nah, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is dot all over with this butter. This is half a cup of butter. It's going to slide off of there, of course. It already smells really good. And take one envelope of the onion soup and spread it evenly across the top. And one envelope of the ranch seasoning. Also spread evenly across the top. And then we need 8 of the peppers. And we put them anywhere we can. 3. And these are whole peppers. 4, 5. And the lid goes on. And we are now good. It's on, I think I have it on high. I'm going to move it to low. 7 hours on low, 5 hours on high. And then what we will do when, and it needs to be very tender. Cook it until it is very tender, it says. And then we will take a fork and shred it into bite-sized pieces and serve it along with mashed potatoes. So we'll see you in about 7 hours. Well, it has been 7 hours. The last 2 hours I put this on high instead of low because it wasn't getting as soft as it needed to be, as tender as it needed to be. And so I'm now just, I just took it out a couple of minutes ago, and I'm just breaking it off in bite-sized pieces rather than shredding it with 2 forks. This is faster. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll tell you, the smell around this house has just been fabulous. I'm going to go ahead and start putting it in. Jim can come and take a look at this before I start putting it in. So you can see that we've developed lots of juice and the peppers are still in there. It has given the meat a nice bite, a nice little bit of heat with those peppers. And I'm just going to allow this meat to soak up some of this broth. I'm not going to make gravy with it. I'm just going to keep it more like au jus. So I'm just cutting off chunks and I'll be pulling them apart, adding them to over here. And then when we reheat everything, I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to plate it with some mashed potatoes. All right, I've just put the mashed potatoes on the plates, and you can come take a look to see how this has absorbed most of the liquid. So the meat is now very, very juicy. So I'm just going to put a helping on each plate. And as you can see, we're going to have at least 2 more meals with this that we'll probably put in the freezer. Do you want a pepper, Jim?
Sure.
I'm going to pass on the pepper.
Okay, I'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take a little bite and let you know how it is. I've been taking little bites of the meat for the past hour, so I already know how fantastic it is, but with the potatoes. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So Jim, let me hold the camera and you come take a bite. Okay, Jim's going to take a little bite now with potatoes.
With potatoes. Nice afterbite. That's nice.
Okay, you say that's nice. You need to be a little more specific.
Nice and spicy, good afterbite. Potatoes are well done, no lumps. Hopefully there would be a little bit of butter, but no butter this time.
Yeah, there's plenty of butter in the potatoes.
Plenty of butter? Oh, okay.
So basically, how do you think the meat is?
I think the meat's good.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
15.
A 15?
Yeah.
Wow. Now see, that's a surprise because you don't get too excited on camera about things. I am now a great fan of Mississippi pot roast, and we will certainly be doing this recipe again. And it's very, very easy. I have 2 comments. First of all, I think next time I will look for a pot roast that is not so tall. I'd like it more flat so that in a 6 or 7 hour time, it can be very, very tender. This is plenty tender, so that's not a problem. And then the other thing for me is just it has a little bit too much heat for me. So I would cut the peppers down to probably about 5 or 6 instead of 8. Jim, what did you think about the heat? Was the heat?
It was fine.
The heat was okay for
Yeah.
you? Okay. So I think we have a great success, and I hope that you try this recipe. It is a wonderful recipe. So easy for us to put together with things that we can just have ready to go on our food storage shelf. So thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you again very soon for more videos.